whenever you graph it, you're going to do everything the same way with your center. You're going to do everything the same way, just like we talked about with the vertices and with the foci. Remember, everything stays in line. It's either going to all run vertically or it's all going to run horizontally. Whether it be your center, whether it be your vertices, whether it be your foci, all of those will have either the same x value or will have all the same y value, depending on what is in that top left corner. Okay, if it's an x in the top left corner, then your x values will be the same or will match kind of across the board. Okay, obviously between your foci and your vertex and your center, they're going to be different numbers. But, or I guess so, it's really the opposite. So, like if it's running left to right, then your y value will be the same across the board because it's your x values that change because that's how you're moving. Whereas if it's top to bottom, where if your y value is in the top left corner of your equation, okay, that means everything's going to run straight down that x value. Okay. Now, like I told you before, there's really nothing that we don't do a whole lot with the b. The only time the b really comes into play is whenever we use our asymptote. Okay? Because it's hyperbola and because it's going off in two different directions, one way or the other, what you have are asymptotes that will never cross. So with your asymptotes, all you're really doing is creating a slope. Okay? So the way that, I don't know, honestly, with the way that it's in like this yellow box, here's the way I would tell you to find your asymptote, or the easiest way. Look for the number under your y value. Wherever that is, it will always be your numerator. Okay, you can write down the formula or the kind of how it works, but what you want to do, find your y value. You find your a or your b, you find the denominator that's underneath that, or the square root of that value. That will always be your numerator of your slope. Okay, I guess I should put of. You always have a plus and a minus regardless. But the biggest thing is paying attention to the order in which your equation starts. Is y first? Is x first? Okay, or x squared or y squared, whatever you want to call it. Okay? Remember, your a and your b don't change. Okay? Your x and your y's now change. Yesterday or 2 days ago, whenever we did ellipses, your a's and your b's changed places. Okay? And your x's and your y's stayed put. Whereas here, your x's and your y's move, but that number underneath will not change. Okay? Be honest with you, in some of these values, you could have numbers that are going to be a little bit harder to graph, as far as you might have to guess a little bit. Like if you would have like 121 as a denominator and you have to take the square root of 121 and you have 11, maybe you don't have 11 spots to kind of go off of from your center. Okay, you may have to kind of guess it a little bit. Does that make sense? Okay, so it's not the end-all be-all as far as where it's at. Okay, it's just really a reference kind of to know, hey, my hyperbola can't cross over that line. It's got to either stay to the left and the right of these two dashed lines, or it's got to stay above or below these two dashed lines. Okay?